Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the opportunity. If you don't mind giving me a little bit of notice when my 3 minutes is up, I certainly would appreciate it. It's certainly a privilege to invite all members of the House to support Bill C-51, the Anti-Terrorism Act 2015. And, Mr. Speaker, the safety and security of Canada and Canadians is being threatened. The international jihadi movement has declared war on Canada. ISIL has named Canada as a target. We have seen its supporters urge their comrades to kill Canadians by any means and at every opportunity. Al-Shabaab is urging its followers to attack targets right here in our country. We know that these are not idle threats. We've seen the horrific and deadly attacks on innocent people in Paris and Sydney and elsewhere in the world, including the cold-blooded murders in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu and at our National War Memorial. It is unfortunate and difficult to accept, but we see a concerning number of Canadians traveling to other countries to join and fight alongside terrorists from Syria to Somalia. Even more worrisome, we know that some of these radicalized Canadians have returned to this country, burning with hatred and often with military training and combat experience. Their values may seem medieval and talk about an early period of our time in history, but they show no reluctance to embrace technology to communicate, to terrorize, to recruit, and to raise funds. The threat is more complex, it is more insidious, and it is more dangerous than could have been anticipated even a few years ago. We must ensure that our security and intelligence organizations have the tools to meet this threat. To do otherwise would be to abandon our most fundamental responsibility to Canadians. That is why we must move swiftly to pass this bill. It is essential to assuring the safety and security of Canadians. As we've heard, the Anti-Terrorism Act 2015 has a number of elements. Mr. Speaker, I hope to get through the first one and re-engage in this when we return. First, it would create the Security of Canada Information Sharing Act. Mr. Speaker, departments and agencies of the Government of Canada collect information of various kinds on a daily basis. In some instances, this information may be of considerable value to the institutions charged with identifying and responding to threats to the security of this country or its allies. And yet we have no tangible, focused, or reliable way to ensure that kind of information gets to the agencies in a timely way. Mr. Speaker, I'm certain many Canadians would be surprised to learn, for example, that when Citizenship and Immigration receives a passport application that raises security flags, it is prohibited by law from sharing that information with the Canadian Security Intelligence Services. Mr. Speaker, I'll leave it at that and return to the discussion when the time is allocated to do so.